How do you do? We're about to unfold the story of
The Bride of Frankenstein.
She's alive! Alive!
A monster created from cadavers out of rifled graves. A tale that sent my blood into icy creeps.
Would you like to hear what happened after that?
Well, we've warned you.
You've been warned again. Welcome back again to the Frankenstein Minute, the podcast where we dissect the Universal Frankenstein series minute by minute. I'm Bill Evenson.
And I'm Tom Lang, and you join us for minute 19 of 1935's Bride of Frankenstein.
Yep.
Dr. Pretorius is trying to tempt Henry back into the wide world of creating life.
Yep.
And Henry thinks it's outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
This is outrageous.
Yep, this
and
minute.
It propels him out of bed, and he doesn't look like a guy who just that night was dropped from the top of a windmill.
or fell off a horse.
Or fell off a horse.
Yeah, good point. All right. More evidence for that. This minute is just two guys talking, and I don't mean the podcast. I mean the movie. That was my thing. I said.
All right.
It's true either way. It's two guys talking,
it's
it's very close to the script actually.
It is. There's very little here that. There's one little part that was cut.
But I think it's interesting watching it now, watching that minute after. So, if people won't know, we recorded last week's episode right before this week's episode. We're still sitting here,
sitting in the same,
and
the same
so after having that
conversation,
that's true. Having that conversation about the deleted scenes and the relationship that these two guys have, and all of that conversation that was cut, and then watching how this minute begins, with Pretorius blaming or apparently convincing Henry that he is to blame for all those murders. It has a different flavor to me after having had a longer conversation about it. Like, there's no secrets between us. We're in the movie. I think it can be a little bit more abrupt.
It is
like
a little bit abrupt.
You might read that as Henry feeling like, oh shit, he knows.
Yeah,
but
which I think is what the impression that it gives.
Yeah,
is it comes off as a threat, a pretty impotent threat, I think, because it's no big secret that Henry did this.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned a few weeks ago, who knows what.
Right.
I mean, Elizabeth knows. She was there. She never says anything about it after that moment in either film.
That's true. She gives no indication.
There's no indication in Frankenstein or in this that she was privy to this, but she was there. She saw it's alive. She saw the thing move.
And then the next scene, she's doing wedding planning with the Baron.
Yeah.
Or she's trying
She's trying to, anyway.
Yeah. And so what that reflects is, I feel, James Whale putting his focus in the right places, because it doesn't really work to have Elizabeth and Victor be there for the "It's Alive" scene. It doesn't work for the plot. It works better if he's out doing it as a secret
by himself,
but it works better in the movie to have them there.
Yeah.
So they're there.
Yeah, dramatically it plays a lot better.
Yeah, and so even though it still doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and it's never really referred to again.
Yeah, yeah. And Victor
just disappeared. He's like, fuck this shit. Drops the mic and he's out of there.
Yeah, and Pretorius doesn't even name Waldman here.
No, Waldman is never mentioned again after Frankenstein. And even in the prologue with Byron giving the recap, there was a line about the old professor strangled, which is cut.
Yeah, and they don't even... So they do show...
They show
the
him.
monster strangling somebody. But I believe your theory on that is because it is footage we don't see anywhere else.
You can tell it
looks like it's from this movie because he's already burned.
His arm is burned.
You think it's cut footage from stuff we'll talk about in a few weeks?
Yeah, later on in the film,
Yeah. Okay, so that's the flavor, I think, or the flavor. I don't know. I don't know what word to use, but that's what I think is lost by having this scene
truncated.
Truncated. Perfect, exactly. Yeah. It's going a little bit too fast, but now it's not. Now we settle in, and it's perfect.
He says there are penalties to be paid for killing people.
Mm-hmm.
Which again is sort of a vague threat.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, Maria's parents, grandparents, whoever the hell they are, aren't like, well, let's go beat the shit out of this Henry Frankenstein. It's more, I want to see the monster's blackened bones because he did it. Not that Henry has any culpability in it, which of course he does. No one ever points that finger.
Nobody does, and Henry has no legal problems.
Yeah.
In fact, by the time we get to the next movie, we see several scenes featuring the legal system.
Yeah.
And they don't have any. They don't press charges in any way. No one press charges. Is Maria's parents never press charges.
Yeah. They didn't have every right to, but they don't.
I suppose.
So it's an interesting threat. I just don't know how much weight it would carry. Clearly, it disturbs Henry enough that he sits down and like, oh shit, yeah, you're right.
Well, it is interesting. Henry's already been, as you say, propelled out of the bed, which for Clive is rare in this film.
In this movie
he
for him to
stands
move
up
around.
and walks about 10 steps and then sits down, and he looks like he can walk just fine.
Yeah, so I wonder
if
it was shot later then.
Yeah, I wonder that too. What he does during this whole thing is he wrings his hands.
Yes, he
does it with such ferocity that it almost makes me think he's got something in his hand or something like he's forming
his face is just tense. His mouth is drawn back. He's just a bundle of nerves, which I think is what Clive was anyway.
A mess. But that's probably
which is like why he's such a great Henry Frankenstein, because he is just so tightly wrapped and could snap at any second, which I think it really works well for the character.
I think what's great about this minute is I could watch this minute over and over again because you've got the two guys so often in the same shot.
Yeah.
And you can just watch either one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I love the way Thesiger doesn't, he's not upstaging Clive.
No, he's
staring at the back of his head while he's talking. I mean, he's staring at him.
Yeah.
He's got a mission here.
Well, then when they sit down, Henry sits down first, and then Pretorius sits next to him, and he's got his hand kind of in a weird, like he's relaxed. He's just sort of, kind of...
Thesiger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely got the upper hand. He's got Henry exactly where he wants him.
That's right.
And he's taking his time.
So on the way to the chair, something interesting happens to me. Thesiger brushes up against something that's on the bedpost. It's that hat. The hat is back. There's a hat on the bedpost. I'm not joking. It's like a fedora.
No, I think it's his hat. It's
he probably sets it down in the deleted scene.
Yeah,
but since that scene's gone, now it's
that same mysterious hat that was on
the mysterious hat.
Bill Dyer's shovel and on the
pitchfork at the beginning of this one.
Yep. It just pops.
And was there another spot? Oh, it was also maybe
on the wall in the lab.
Wall. There we go. All right, the fourth appearance of the hat. If you're keeping track, the hat is back.
Confirmed hat sighting.
Another confirmed hat sighting. Yeah, he doesn't look like he's limping. Okay, so this is the minute where he says, "As soon as I'm well, I'm to be married." So there's no question
going away. Yeah,
that he is unmarried, and it's funny because I didn't notice how awkward that was until we started going through this minute by minute. It is weird that he's not married, and what's weird about it is that later he is.
Yeah.
So it's like spoilers for a future minute. But at some point in the movie, he's married, and they're talking about it like it just happened. So there's a wedding that will take place.
It's like we talked about. It's like a bunch of little mini movies that all come together, and that was a mini movie we didn't need to see.
Yeah.
Because Henry will be out of the story for a good half hour or more after a while.
Mm-hmm.
So when we next see him, the wedding is taking place, and they're getting ready to go on their honeymoon.
And one good thing about that, one reason not to show that, because we already saw that.
Yeah.
We had a whole shoe-plottler about it.
Yeah, we don't need any more.
Yeah, we don't need to re-shoe-plottler.
Yeah. So maybe they just went to the Justice of the Peace and had a quiet.
Yeah, they had a quiet little ceremony.
Yeah, Baron isn't there to.
To muck things up with all of his
orange blossoms,
and champagne.
Yeah.
All right, so he's unmarried. They are an unmarried couple.
And Pretorius also uses as a threat, with your creature still at large in the countryside, yet another thing why it's not the same night. I'm going to hammer this, because it keeps coming up.
Okay.
He talked a lot about it in the cut footage.
Right.
But in the actual final edit of the film, this is the first indication that someone beyond Minnie knows that the creature lived through the fire.
That's true. I like that. That's very true. And
one
of the things I like about it is, or that lived.
That lived to tell the tale.
That is alive.
Yeah.
Is that in the movie it slightly loses something there because of the cut footage.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
And I want to say just slightly because I think so much of this, when we talk about cut footage, it's like, well, boy, it'd be great to see that, but we don't need it.
Right.
It's fine the way it is. It's fucking Bride of Frankenstein, right?
Yeah, right.
But in this case, I think it is a bit of a detriment that he just sort of says that. But you could also argue it as a strength, saying, well, we're moving on. We're moving quickly.
Moving quickly, yeah.
We don't need to dwell on that.
Well,
we just know the monster's roaming this countryside.
I think that's part of why it was cut, was pacing, just to move it along. Because this is a dialogue-heavy scene already, and cutting 4 pages of it, moves it along a lot more quickly. And, it doesn't need to be there for us to, like you just said, to enjoy the movie.
Yeah, in this minute he mentions continuing the experiments. And that sort of implies that they were working on experiments before. So So these things are still there. The references are still there. You've got to be paying attention. To hear them.
It's like where the Baron died. You have to really be paying attention to that because it's true. Baron Frankenstein now, I believe.
Right.
Oh yeah, the Baron died. We don't see that. It's never expressly said, but it is very much implied.
Yep.
And I think that comes up later than when he's a Baroness now, I presume. When we next see Elizabeth, they're married.
Yeah,
so there's all these little
silly details, but yes. Well, I shouldn't say silly. The Baron dying is an odd one. It's just weird.
Yeah.
But I guess that might have been a good idea to leave it in.
Yeah,
I don't know, but again, it doesn't make change.
I don't think it really hurts.
It's a distraction.
Yeah.
And if you're thinking about that, then you're not watching Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah, I don't think we needed that because
and nobody's going, where's Frederick Kerr? Where's the Boyle? Where's the Boyle guy?
Where's the goiter?
The goiter, that's right. Where's the goiter fella?
Where's John Bowles? Why isn't he in this?
Where's John Bowles? Yep, there's no John Bowles in this one.
Thank goodness. And again, he wouldn't fit it any more than May Clark probably would.
Yeah, that's true.
Tone.
Well,
he didn't fit the tone of Frankenstein either, but
that's true. But then you say May Clark. Well, Valerie Hobson isn't a strength of this film either. So
no, she's not. But I think this version of Elizabeth is so different than May Clark's. I just don't think May Clark's acting style and persona really would fit this.
Yeah, this is more of a cleavage character than a.
Yeah, I guess.
But that's really all she's contributed.
That's all she's. Yeah. Well, that and a nice little
some hysteria.
Yeah, some hysteria.
Yep. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't take a lot of notes. I guess my thing about this one is it follows the script and.
Well, there's one little section that's cut.
Okay.
It says we should work together, no longer as master and pupil, but as fellow scientists. Or if you prefer, this is what was cut. Or if you prefer, you as master and I as your faithful assistant. I regret that my necessity forces me to say your paid assistant.
Yeah, that's good. That would be a good little.
Yeah, I kind of wish that was there.
I like that you don't. We don't dwell on it, but it's obvious that.
Well, it's a little bit of extortion on Pretorius's part.
Okay. Oh, I didn't even think about it in those terms. Just that he's in bad shape.
Well,
he needs money.
Yeah.
But it also takes away some of his power.
Yes, it does.
To say it that way.
Yeah, it does. But I think it's also, like I said, some extortion.
He's
going to spill the beans unless you pay me to help you.
That's right. Yeah. And then later he goes even further.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He doesn't have any qualms about
No, not at all.
Fucking up Henry's life.
Well, what we see, he doesn't have any real conscience about any of this. He's doing. He's sort of the Mephistopheles to Henry's Faust.
Nice. He should be. Look at him.
He is. Yeah, I mean, he looks like a
He's
devil.
the very devil.
Yeah. Or do I flatter myself?
Yeah, exactly. We'll get to that. Yeah, but definitely.
They might probe the mysteries of life and death. I don't know if that's any significance or not. I just thought that was kind of funny.
Yep, I like that. I mean, we are talking about, and I think it will go into it more in a couple of weeks, but we've talked about it before, about this whole reckoning on God and what it is that Henry did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Having kids is creating a person.
Yeah.
And that's considered okay. And that involves...
heterosexual
mating. Yeah, heterosexual mating, or the quote unquote proper respectful way of doing things. Right. And this temptation is we're going to probe the mysteries of life.
This is a little out there.
Yeah.
I've had a terrible lesson he's had, but not nearly as terrible as Victor Frankenstein had in the novel. He loses everybody and everything.
Yep.
The creature kills his brother, kills his fiancée. His father dies as a result, and he sets out in pursuit of the creature to his death.
Yep.
Victor's.
Victor's, yeah.
You still haven't read it, have you?
No. But here's the thing,
You know,
too.
you
We
really-
talked about it the other day.
After this film, you really don't need to because it stops being Mary Shelley
Yeah, I suppose.
pretty quickly after
Yeah,
this.
that's true. But we talked about in previous episodes, though, that I thought it was funny that Henry refers to himself as cursed.
Yeah.
Because, like you said,
Not-
so far he's gotten off fairly light.
Yeah, he's gotten off easy compared to Victor.
And although I guess nobody knows what happened to Maria. Like if I
Hmm.
don't know, if one of my kids went to go play with Maria and then they found her drowned in the pond, I guess this still doesn't work. Because the problem is the monster can't speak. Monster can't defend himself. So your assumption is we don't know what happened, but it was bad.
It was bad. Well, certainly, like we mentioned, the way Michael Mark is carrying her through the town square looks pretty awful.
Yeah.
Stockings are down her leg, and
He's learned a terrible lesson.
that
Is
is
that what he said?
sad.
Or
Yeah, I've had a terrible lesson. It's just sad, very sad.
Yeah, that's right too. The response is great because he's
Because it's so fucking insincere. It's hilarious.
yeah, it's perfect. He plays well. He does everything perfect.
Yeah, he's great. I mean,
Every
he's
moment is perfect.
He's
Yeah.
great. He's Dr.
That
Pretorius.
is sad.
Very sad.
You know, even it says at one point, and I should have written it in my notes. I believe it's this minute. Maybe it's next minute. You know what? Maybe I'll just wait and see what.
Wait and see if it's in the next
I
minute.
think it's in the next minute. But again, just two guys talking, but
Yeah.
totally compelling and
Oh, no,
all
it's
based
great.
on Thesiger.
Yeah. Oh, it's
And
all
the writing.
Well, I mean, Clive, he's definitely sort of shunted to the background in the film.
Hmm.
Billed second, but Thesiger should have been.
Yeah, very good.
You know.
Very good point. C.C. Clive is equal.
He does.
We've been talking about this, and we've mentioned it on the podcast. We might as well mention it
Mention
again.
it since the
That
people
you
know what we're
pointed this
talking about.
out.
Well, first of all, we first became aware of it.
On
You
the
saw
La La
on the
Land.
La La Land just recently released a CD of the actual recording of the music.
Right.
It's
the
not
actual,
it's not a reorchestration. It's
acetate.
the
Is it from
actual
the acetate? Yeah.
recordings. But in their liner notes, they list the actor E.E. Clive as C.C. Clive.
Yes.
And we made fun of that until last night.
Yeah.
I realized in looking at the Magic Image film book,
Published in 1989.
yeah, there's a reproduction of a 1935 poster.
So you think this is a
Oh,
1935
I know it is.
poster?
I know it is.
They didn't alter the poster? Because you could easily alter that,
You
right?
could, but no,
that's
there
a
it
different
is.
font.
There it is as C.C. Clive.
So that was from 35.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. Look at your...
Look at your
Barsky doesn't have one of these, so I know that.
Yeah.
Dino, I don't know who's got one of these.
Yeah, I know.
Anybody who's got one, go ahead and look. You can see, yeah.
In
It's,
the lower
it says-
right-hand corner, it says
It's got the cast, right? It says
Yeah.
Karloff in, and then the title, the incorrect title.
The
already.
Bride of Frankenstein. It's
The
already
Bride of
it's
Frankenstein,
already
movie I've
useless.
never heard.
It's already a
Yeah,
useless.
I should throw this book away.
Yeah.
It even says it on the side.
It does.
Colin Clive, Valerie Hobson, Elsa Lanchester, Una O'Connor, Ernest Thesiger, and C.C.
C.C.
Clive.
Clive. There it is.
Yeah.
And I've got a poster hanging in my living room.
Rick has this. Rick
Oh,
knows about
Rick-
this.
Rick-
Rick's probably already posted about it. I tried to look for this online to see if I could find anybody talking about it. Like, when did it happen?
Mhm.
And sure, there are a couple
There's
of
a
posts.
couple-
There's one from like 2007 where somebody mentioned it.
Yeah.
But yeah, when did this happen? But I guess
Well, it happened in
your take is that it
1935.
happened in 35. Okay.
Because that's a vintage poster from.
Well, see, my take is there's all these different fonts. Couldn't they have changed that at some point between 35 and 89? But if you say so.
I don't know why that. Once the film was out of general release, why would they bother?
Yeah, probably. Good point.
So the one in my living room is correct. It says E.E. Clive, and every other.
Well, what do you mean? It looks like this, but it says
No,
E.E.
it's different. It's a different artwork. I was gonna say
Right.
every other iteration of the posters and stuff says E.E. Clive. This
So
to
there's
me,
just
this
one-
appears to be the only one that has the mistake.
Huh.
As at least my little looking around last night, because that's when I discovered it.
It's hard to find. It's hard. I'm not the best at Google searching, but it's hard
Well,
to
you
find.
found Stuff Footman, so
That's true. But it's hard, like, if you put a quote around something, then it's like, well, I want to see
Well, see
this, and it has to
specifically
be in
this.
this order. So what
Yeah.
do I find? Like, look, one of the things I like to do is look at you can search Google groups. So if people remember news groups,
yeah.
you're old. But, news groups probably ended. The last post on a news group was probably in the 90s. I mean, I don't know. It just seems so old now. But you can search the old news groups, and if you search for C.C. Clive, well, if you CC somebody,
Yeah.
and then it's his first name is Clive.
Did you do C period Clive, or did you do?
I did, but
CC?
it actually,
Same thing?
now I think about it, that's funny. The thing I'm talking about, Google groups. If you do that, I believe you get no results at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
which is weird. But I mean, is it C period space Clive, or is it C period space C
Yeah, so
period
we could try
space?
all of these.
So some
Rick,
Rick, go find out what happened. No, but we already know. Like
We
you said,
kinda know
it didn't even occur to me. I was assuming that this is the earliest. That 1989 is the earliest. But if you're
I'm fairly certain
it's
that
just
that
they
is-
made different posters for different.
Look at. There's
purposes.
the press book in there is reproduced.
Okay.
It's either at the end of it or after.
You mean like
Manx.
way at the end? At the very end?
No, it's at the end of Manx. It's in there somewhere.
Boy,
I
there's
know.
some deleted stuff in here.
So there, yeah.
Yeah, E.E. Clive is what it says here.
Yeah, see, that's different artwork.
Yeah. And then it gets into stuff that.
But they'll show, I think, in one of them all the different posters you could have ordered at the time.
Oh, I see what you mean. So there's a.
This was what Universal sent out. Yeah, there. This is what Universal would have sent out to distributors
So yeah.
showing the film, and here's all the cool stuff you can get. And like, they're like $1 or something
But
like
most
that.
of them don't even, get to the point of saying Clive.
Yeah.
That's why I guess I thought maybe it was a later edition. Because most of them say Karloff in.
Yeah.
And then Colin Clive, Valerie Hobson, Elsa Lanchester, Una O'Connor, and that's it.
Yeah, I think it's a crime that Thesiger is not on
Yeah,
everything
exactly.
related to it.
And that was why I guess I thought maybe it was a...
But it's also
okay,
like
there you go. It says E.E. Clive there.
It's also like I pointed out, yeah, because I looked through here last night. I pointed out, it's on the DVD cover from the first DVD issue of the film itself as well. Because it's the same poster.
Funny thing, seeing the
the
first page of the actual
with the binder
script,
clip.
with the binder clip on it.
Yeah.
And the name of the film is The Return of Frankenstein. Now that's a separate Magic Image.
There is, yeah. It's not Magic Image. It's Philip Riley, who also edited these, has a new series through a different publisher. I forget, but they're unproduced scripts.
Right, and that one isn't this at all.
No, that's where I had the Flory script that we were talking about in throughout Frankenstein.
Okay, that's right. All right.
I was at a memorabilia shop or a books shop in Hollywood a couple years ago, and they had a whole section of scripts that you could get for like $20, and I almost got whatever Frankenstein ones they had. But I'm like, I got to take these fucking things on the plane, and I don't want to do that. So
carry it in your hand. Come on.
Yeah, well, next time we're there, I'll find it again.
Right.
It's on Hollywood.
We'll be back
Boulevard.
on Halloween if it's legal.
If it's legal, it's on Hollywood Boulevard, and they had a whole bunch of stuff. So
all right.
So now I've said that, someone's going to go raid it.
Yeah, exactly. We're not going to be back. Of course, they're closed.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
All
All right. Follow us on the.
Listen, you can follow us on Patreon. If you guys know what Patreon is, that's a place where you can donate to your favorite artists, be a patron, and we encourage that, and you get every episode a day early.
You do, and
if it's working. It doesn't work for all the time.
Yeah,
for some people.
Some people say it doesn't. Don has never had a problem that I'm aware of. But.
I shouldn't criticize Patreon. It's perfect.
It works perfectly. And I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, you're also supposed to get bonus content, but I've got to get off my ass and put the bonus content together at some point.
It's it is what it is. It's
go.
bonus content. We don't make promises.
Well, we have, and haven't met them, so there we go.
All right. That got weird at the end.
Yeah, it did.
Cut that out. Actually,
no.
There you go. It'll be your incentive. Make sure you have a bonus episode out before episode 19.
Yeah, there we go.